is Senior Technology Evangelist at Infinium Robotics Singapore. His current focus is in helping warehousing customers automate their stock-taking processes using AI-enabled, fully automated smart warehouse drone systems. Please welcome Mr. Arjun Putri Edaka. Welcome, Arjun.
Hi, thank you, El. Thank you for that introduction. And good afternoon to all the participants as well. Okay, so good afternoon, guys. Thank you for joining this session. So I'll be speaking about indoor unmanned aerial systems for logistics, and specifically fully automated smart stock-taking drone system for warehouse inventory management. This session is split into 12 different segments, and I'll be covering the pain points. Is there a change needed in the particular warehousing segment and the processes currently used? What does the UAV general market look like? How does the warehousing market look like? Who are the key players in the industry? What has been the impact of COVID onto this particular application and this industry? We'll see a couple of implementations, some AI and reporting features. As a customer, what do you need to look out for in terms of the key pointers, in terms of adopting a solution, some case studies, some industry feedbacks, and some tips and recommendations at the end of the session. So if you look at the warehousing industry, there are three main pain points faced by the warehousing team. And this is unanimously the three pain points all across the warehousing segments as well. First one is labor intensive. So the stock taking process is very labor intensive, and it requires the warehouses to shut down its operations. And this can lead to a few $100,000 of losses to millions of dollars of losses annually. The second major issue is inventory losses that happens due to the stock inaccuracy. And similar to the labor intensive losses, inventory losses can also mount from a few $100,000 to even millions of dollars, depending upon the size of the warehouse and the value of the goods stored as well. The third major pain point is poor inventory control. So when there is not much of visibility for the inventory that are put on the racks, it becomes quite a big hassle for the customers as well. So what are the customer looking for in a solution? So customer wants a solution that can count inventory automatically without requiring the warehouses to stop operations. They want a system that improves accuracy up to 99.9%, hence saving warehouses millions of dollars a year in inventory losses. They want a system that reduces time to stock taking and inventory control by up to 70%. Higher visibility and transparency leads to better stock planning and higher sales fulfillment rate for the customers. Why do we need a change inside the warehousing processes that are currently being run? There are three major reasons for that. First is, warehouse managers are being forced to implement very narrow aisles and very tall racks due to the high real estate prices. Labor shortages are forcing management to adopt smart warehousing solutions. And on top of that, customer SLAs are now forcing third-party logistic companies to perform higher frequency cycle counts. The second reason, the global e-commerce, high-velocity supply chains, same-day delivery promises, and extreme cost pressures have started disrupting conventional warehouses. Now, third, digital transformation is no longer a buzzword for supply chain executives. Without rapid technological adoption, their inventory processes would soon become redundant. If you look at the UAV market in general, from 2019 to 2024, it is expected to grow at a rate of compounded annual growth rate of more than 10%. And during this particular period, the fastest growing market is going to be North America, and the largest market is going to be Asia Pacific. So if you look at this map, it has different color combinations. So it indicates the regional growth rates. So green color indicates a higher growth rate, yellow indicates mid growth rate, and red indicates a low growth rate. Now let us drill down to the warehousing segment. So globally, developed countries will experience need for warehousing efficiencies as communities continue to urbanize with ongoing limitations on space and higher labor costs. If you look at the APAC region, the strong economy in the region is largely driven by low-cost manufacturing and strong growth, which will drive demand growth for warehousing space. Since we are based out of Singapore, if you look at Singapore in specific, the opportunities for technology to support warehousing operations in a mature market, which is characterized by high labor costs and space constraints, are very important. Who are the key players like? The global drone logistics and transportation market is estimated to be valued at US dollars 9.45 billion in 2021 and is projected to reach US dollars 26.16 billion dollars by 2026. So this is basically a CAGR growth of 21.16% during this forecast period. So there are a few players working in this particular industry. Some of the major players are Drone Delivery Canada, Drone Scan, Infinium Robotics, Matonet, Skycart, and few others. So COVID has been affecting each and everyone in many different ways. What has been the impact of COVID inside the warehousing segment? The COVID-19 pandemic has forced warehouse operators to accelerate their timetables for the adoption of automation and robotics. Automated smart inventory drone system can help organizations enhance safety management measures for warehousing staff who would otherwise have to operate close together with manual scans. As warehouses rethink their layouts and processes to enable social distancing between workers and protect them from infection, such measures are bound to cut productivity. Organizations that have already deployed such technologies have created a safer workplace by reducing interactions among their workforce and have enhanced productivity to meet increasing demands. To summarize, safety and productivity have come into sharp focus as the virus continues to spread. Is there a solution? Can there be a solution which can be fully automated and run inside warehouse? I bet there is. So let's see an actual implementation of such kind of a system. So you see a robot, and then there is a ground robot, and there is a tether system. The entire system forms Infinium scan. The drone is capable of taking off from the ground robot, and it will always follow the ground robot wherever it has been mapped to. The drone has multiple capabilities in terms of scanning. It is capable of scanning QR codes, scanning barcodes, and to ensure higher level of safety and higher level of battery life and endurance, there is a tether cable attached to the drone as well. So this forms a complete unique system which customers are looking for. The height can be adjusted depending upon the height of the warehouse. All these are adjustable parameters. Now, what makes a drone intelligent is nothing but the artificial intelligence component. So artificial intelligence component is that cross-functional domain that makes drones capable of operating in all sorts of environments in cross-industrial applications as well. So two important features needed are AI and reporting as far as the warehousing customer are concerned. So if you look at the AI, there are different ways of doing AI processing. So let's say a couple of examples. So let's say we do an edge detection. So boxes and the cartons that are present on the racks, we are able to do the edge detection. Now, after doing an edge detection, we are able to do multi-site detection. Once we are able to do this, we can get an exact count of the system as well. And ultimately, all these data are taken and generated an automated report. So this automated report is basically considered as a discrepancy report, which currently is done manually. So this entire process can be digitalized using drone system. Now, what are the different capabilities of the artificial intelligence module? There can be different scenarios depending upon the type of the customers and the type of the goods stored. There could be boxes stacked randomly, just like the first image, or irregularly placed machineries, just like the second image, or cylindrical oil drums, or any different kinds of shapes of items present on the racks or inside the warehouse can be detected using an intelligent AI system. And it not only does the detection, it is capable of doing the counting as well. So which is one of the major change that has happened over the period of years. Initially, it was only the QR code and the barcode detection. Now it has gone to the next level in terms of giving the exact count, so which is a life-saving thing for many of the warehouses. Let's see how does the drone do the detection part. The drone initially doing a learning part, and then once deployed inside the warehouse, it navigates through different aisles and different racks at different heights, and it is capable of identifying each and every box. So it does the detection, the intelligent algorithm runs behind, and it is capable of giving you the exact count, even if the boxes are not visible from the front side. So there is a certain level of extrapolation that can be done for our customers, which have helped them as well. You can see in such a scenario where there's quite a lot of reflective wrapping around the drums. Even in such scenarios, an intelligent AI system should be able to detect them and should be able to count them as well. So these are some of the areas where it becomes very difficult for humans to do the counting. that is where drones can be flawless. So these are some scenarios where there are polymer bags inside the customer location, and doing a manual count is a bit difficult, to be honest. But in this case, once the system has been trained, uh, we are able to capture all of the uh, locations, all of the boxes, all of the goods stored on the pallets as well. So it is not only in terms of detecting certain size boxes. Let us say there are different objects that are oversized, that doesn't fit inside the field of view of the camera. Even in such scenarios, the system is capable of identifying and then doing the detection as well. So to give an example, uh, such kind of system, these are oversized pallets with different polymer bags, and it is still capable of identifying them. Now, have these systems been tested out in highly challenging scenarios? Yes, these systems have been tested in highly challenging scenarios. So let's say there are empty pallet locations. Can the system detect it? Yes, an intelligent system can detect an empty pallet location. It can even differentiate cartons that are placed on pallets at different layers. So let's say green is the front layer, yellow is the middle layer, and then red is the back layer. So based on that, we are able to do the exact counting. And in an actual warehouse, the boxes are not placed uh, on a regular fashion or in a certain orientation. It can be tilted as well. Even in such scenarios, the system works perfectly fine. So from a customer's perspective, what do they need to look out for if they want to adopt such a solution? First is they need to check if the system is fully automated. They need to see what sort of minimum battery life or system can offer. So it has to provide at least a few hours of operation in terms of making meaningful sense inside a warehouse. There shouldn't be any human intervention needed for the particular system. The system should be able to provide remote, real-time analytics on the go, on the fly. And ultimately, it should lower the lost inventory and reduce the insurance costs incurred to the company. It should minimize the need to climb heights and reduce the risk. And ultimately, it has to be a proven AI solution. If we look at a case study of such kind of system being deployed in one of the warehouses, so this is basically a case study from a warehouse in Malaysia. They're an FMCG player. Usually they move around 2,000 FMCG pallets per day, and they store to 23,000 FMCG pallets. The labor wages were low, the equipment rental costs were high. It is a 24-hour operational warehouse, and it conducts cycle counting on everyday basis. And it conducts quarterly stock taking on 3-month basis. Each stock take takes about 36 hours and 40 men with 20 forklifts to complete. So basically, you'll have an idea that it's a very tedious process in terms of getting it done. Now, what sort of benefits or annual cost savings can the customer get? So if you look at the right side column, the total projected annual savings from labor costs, money saved from the equipment rental, hire, inventory accuracy and inventory losses. If you add up everything together on an annual basis for such type of a warehouse, you can easily save US dollars $584,560. So this is a major change and major change required for warehouses in terms of saving money. If you look at some of the industry feedback for these type of systems from different players like Bolloré Logistics, Chevron Oronite, or even Dexion, people from different segments, like from Bolloré, we have solutions engineer, director of supply chain solutions giving feedback. From Chevron, we have someone from the procurements operations of Chevron Oronite Singapore division, and somebody from the head of systems from Dexion as well. All of them do opine that the system, once deployed, can reduce the manual labor needed in terms of getting the total stock taking. So something that usually takes about 1 week or 2 weeks can be done in few hours time or even in 1 day's time. So that's a lot of time that is saved for the warehouse in terms of time and also in terms of money perspective. Now, usually our customers do ask that what are the different practical tips and quick recommendations that we could give so that they can do the deployment. So we usually say there are 3 steps involved in it. First is to trial out a smart warehousing solution. So it could be different types of solutions. So take the chance and then trial out smart warehousing solutions as much as possible. So this should be the first step. And once this is done, rest of the process would automatically fall in place. And if you look at the smart warehousing solutions available in the market, a lot of such solutions are already market proven. And based on these trial results, do calculate the ROI, the return on investment, and weigh in along with other qualitative improvements and benefits that it can bring to your entire operations and into your entire balance sheet as well. If it makes sense, then if the requirements are met, then do implement the solution in small and incremental phases so as to improve your operations. So it does always need to be a phased approach where a system is not deployed on a one-shot basis. You split it into maybe 2 or 3 phases and then do the deployment of the solution. Once the deployment of the solution is done, you monitor the solution, you look for the values, and what sort of improvements is it currently bringing into the entire process. Once that has been done, then you could slowly scale it up to different warehouses, to different regions, to different geographies as well. So this is how we do recommend our customers to follow this process in terms of adoption. So this is basically nothing but a digitalization or industrial 4.0 change. What the system basically does is the data acquisition. It does the data acquisition, it collects all the data, and then it passes on to the system where it becomes a part of the entire supply chain, starting from the supplier to the raw materials, moving on to the end user or the end customer. So this is, from a technical perspective, this is a data acquisition system and a much intelligent system in terms of doing that in comparison to what people do. But on a larger scale, this is very much essential for the business process flow from supply chain till the end customer, from start till the end. This is very important. So that marks the end of my session. And I do believe that most of the participants may have a couple of